Good afternoon. For all of you afternooning, there might be some of you who are eveninging, or people who are morninging. Right now, this is my afternoon, so I'm going to say that this is afternooning for me. With me, as always, is a cup of coffee, my third cup of coffee, and righty is here, and lefty, his partner in crime. And of course, we have a Jenga blocks in a block, and of course, a rotating surface. I just tried out yesterday. Seemed to work swimmingly well, and so we're gonna do it for 2 days straight. This here Jenga tower on a pedestal, on a floating lazy Susan, whatever you want to call that. I feel like that's an archaic term, lazy Susan. So we'll just say rotating thing. How's that? I'm going to start with my right hand. I usually start with my left hand. I'm going to go with my right hand because I feel kind of cheeky today. I hope all of you are doing well. I just found out we're getting more snow over the weekend. Not a lot of snow, but some snow. So I feel like Jenga is a lot like taking the SATs, the GREs, and you're not, for the verbal stuff, for the word definitions, you're not looking for the right word. You're looking for the most correct word. Rotating disco floor, that's right, tons of mice. So it isn't about finding a block. It's about finding the best block. So in that way, it's like the GREs. In that way, it's like the SATs in terms of the verbal section, right? When you had to take it, it's like you're not trying to find the right word. You're trying to find the best word. Like cold is to hot, as, I don't know, frigid is to blah, blah, blah. So just because you can take the block doesn't mean you should be taking the block. Sometimes I haven't had a lot of coffee when I start, so I'm a little less verbal. My third cup is the magic. I am coming up with a new comedy short tomorrow. One of those little 60-second. I'll probably be 2 versions. I'll probably be the second 60-second version, and then maybe like a 3-minute version. I can't tell you what it is because it's a comedy short. But I'm quite happy with it, with the idea of the short, the premise of the joke. And so now I just have to execute it well. That is the joke. And hopefully it'll be one of those viral. I've done viral pieces before, and I'm hoping that it'll be one of those viral jokes. But we'll see what happens, right? Cool, hot, frigid, right? In fact, some of my best ideas, I wrote a post about how to get good ideas or how to be more creative on my Medium page a while back. And there are tricks. There are tricks you can do to be more creative. And creativity is one of those things that can be nourished. There are tricks to be more creative. One of them is, of course, finding out when you are the most creative. Like some people peak early in the morning, some people peak later in the day. Finding your own rhythm will help you be able to nourish what time. If you're going to do creative work, there's certain points of the day to do creative work. For me, I find that when I first wake up in the morning or after taking a nap, that's when I can get bursts of creativity. And sometimes you say to yourself, well, and it's a stupid joke too, but a lot of jokes are stupid, right? It's very simple. But some of the best jokes out there, or the things that go viral, are the most idiotic. If you explained it to a person, if I was going to explain to you the joke I'm going to be making this video tomorrow of, you'd be like, Andy, that doesn't sound funny. But it's in the execution of it, because it's a visual gag. All right. It took me a while to get rid of that song. For those of you who are watching, who saw the morning show, there was this video about a Greek actor who mispronounced a word, and now theater geeks still know him. And there was a song, there's a nerdy song in the way that They Might Be Giants might write a song in that style. But I finally got that out of my head, and now I have some of the Buffy musical episode. Once More with Feeling. That's it. I think that's from the 6th season of Buffy. So I have some of that soundtrack going through my head. Do I have music going through my head most of the time? Yeah, believe it or not. There's always some kind, a lot of the time, not all the time, there's some kind of music jam going through my head. One of the stories I'm going to be covering tomorrow on the morning show from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. It's going to be the food, a picture of a food line I saw in Glasgow, Scotland. I guess they're having some tough times up there. Glasgow's always been a tough town, from what I understand, a tough city, a hard city. But it seems that the pandemic and the economic downturn is hitting that place pretty hard. So I'm going to do some reading up on the issue, and we'll be talking about it tomorrow on the morning show. Oh, look at that, huh? Look at that. I want to make sure I don't take the piece too close to the camera so the autofocus messes up. What I need is more coffee. I may need a lot of things. I may need a lot more things than just coffee. But I'll take the coffee and Jenga right now. It's an interesting idea about the things you think you can't live without until you're forced to live without them. Right? I think that's one thing that we've learned from the pandemic is that you can go without a lot of stuff. It's not good. It's not pleasant. There's a lot of people who just realized that they don't have to go out for brunch on Sundays. Look at that. Look at that. So my girlfriend confided with me, she might be watching right now, that she never saw Casablanca before. And so we're going to be spending some of our Valentine's Day watching Casablanca, along with The Princess Bride. I was trying to go for When Harry Met Sally, but there's going to be a lot of movies, a lot of movie watching. So we may not get to Harry Met Sally. Da, 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 da. When I was working with violent or clients who had a history of violence and prone to agitation and episodes of aggression, I found that there are many ways of de-escalating the situation. And sometimes just being silly helped. I think I've escalated, and the trick is when you're trying to de-escalate someone who's agitated or aggressive is to try to diffuse the situation before it gets crazy, right? So if you can recognize the behaviors leading to an agitated or aggressive incident, you want to start addressing those. You want to, before things start getting to the point that the person is actually agitated or aggressive. So I have gotten myself out of many jams, de-escalated many people in the early stages, the pre-stages, before they got agitated or aggressive, just by singing. They hear Andy singing a silly song through the house. It's not likely that they will get agitated. The Africa Queen is a great movie. I got to tell you, Derek Cruz, I have never seen The African Queen. Never seen it. Guilty. I haven't seen it. I feel bad that I haven't. I've had a couple of opportunities to see it in color, to tell you the truth, but I refuse to see the colorized version of that movie before I see the black and white version. I know it might be a weird thing, but it's a weird hill to die on, so to speak, but I need to see it in black and white before seeing it in its adulterated form. And that's a Bacall Bogey movie, as I recall, The African Queen. I'm curious where they filmed that. Was it like in Florida or on a set in California? I'm curious to find out about that. What I found to be an interesting romantic movie, and in terms of, because I've written scripts before, I've written spec scripts, and if anyone who's on the channel knows that, I write little funny videos, and I've written and directed a few funny videos. And what I found to be a very satisfying romantic comedy movie was Hitch. I think Hitch was done in the early aughts. And I thought that was a well-done movie. Well-written, solid plotting. In terms of a romantic comedy. See, I think I got myself into a jam early. Of course, I'm always like this. And this, I think at this point in the game, I'm always thinking to myself, I'm in trouble. I won't be able to find anything. I won't be able to find any blocks. But then magic happens. And I check out this background. So yeah, I'll show you the three. This is just another. I'm not going to move it too much. You can see it wobbles. It wobbles quite a bit. So I'll give you some. What's the word? Dimensionality. I know that's not right. I know that's not a right word, dimensionality, but it does show you partially what the tower looks like from another angle. Haven't seen anything from Imaginary God lately. I know his dad was just out of the hospital with leukemia, and it didn't sound good. But he is in my thoughts, and so is his dad. Man. All right, I'm going to go around the other side, see what I can do. Is this movable? I think it is. Oh, there you go. I think you write a whole book about a book of philosophy on Jenga. Sometimes you just have to move your position to see the entire picture. See, that's like a fortune cookie Jenga stuff, right? Sometimes you just have to move your position to see the whole picture. Just like that. According to the Wikipedia, Africa Queen was filmed in Technicolor. Oh, really? Was it filmed in Technicolor? I thought it was a black and white movie. All right, in Uganda and the Congo. Interesting. So here's a question. Was Uganda and the Congo still colonial possessions at the time of the filming? That is an interesting question. I'm not sure what year the movie was filmed in, but it could have still been the Belgian Congo, and I think Uganda was a British colony. Was there any reference? Since I haven't seen the movie, I'm not sure. Was there any reference to Heart of Darkness? Because the Heart of Darkness took place on the Belgian Congo. And since I'm getting all tangential here, if you haven't seen the Apocalypse Now documentary, Hearts of Darkness, that is worth seeing. And of course, the connection between between the Heart of Darkness, the Conrad movie, the Conrad book, and Apocalypse Now is that basically Apocalypse Now is based on the Joseph Conrad book, Heart of Darkness. And if you haven't seen Apocalypse Now, well, you got to see Apocalypse Now. It's a great movie. I've seen Apocalypse Now a couple of times on the big screen, and it is a cinematic delight, especially the opening scene with the explosions. I think I can make this work, everyone. Yeah, I don't know. I think a bit more of Jenga wisdom is once you start pulling, you have to become comfortable and be willing to let things go. Like, yeah, there's a letting go-ness of being a way of just being happy with what you're doing, whether or not you're going to have an epic fail or not. Maybe not happy, but at least at peace with it. And I think that's one main lesson from doing Jenga is being at peace with, of course, there's an awareness of being good at what you're doing or not good. Like I know when I'm doing well and when I'm not doing well. At least I think I do. But also cultivating a sense of peace. That. I have another cup of coffee, another sip of coffee. All right, let's see what I can do. Here it is. Magic, just like that. Da, 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 da. Very good. All right, let's see if this will work. It worked. I don't know if I've ever talked about this, but I've been to yoga camp before. I've been to a yoga retreat out in the western part of Massachusetts a couple of times, maybe 3 times. And I'm not a big yoga person. I have done yoga. But in terms of the problems with yoga, what's the difference between yoga and Jenga, you may ask me? And I'm glad that you asked this. Yoga has a lot more farting. Yoga has a lot more farting than Jenga does. Because if you're prone to gas and you're doing yoga, then there's going to be the passing of that gas. And what's super embarrassing about it is that you may pass that gas to several different people. Here with Jenga, there is there's not a lot of pressure on you for farting. See, there's some kind of wordplay there. There's pressure, but not gastrointestinal pressure. So what I'm curious about, and I'm sure a few of you are thinking about this too, whether or not the same kind of benefits you can get from meditating, you can get from doing Jenga. That's an interesting question, to tell you the truth. I would hazard to say yes, but that's just a guess on my part. Is that there'd be some kind of similar benefits of either, lower blood pressure, lower stress hormones in the body, if you played Jenga on the regular, similar to if you did other types of different types of meditation. What's the real interesting question is whether or not there are benefits cognitively in terms of being able to hold your attention to fine detail. Like I said, I've been reading through the Sanjay Gupta book on how to stay mentally sharp. And part of it is recommending to play games like this with your non-dominant hand. I think games like this in general, but doing it with your dominant hand and your non-dominant hand. Here we go. Oh, no. I thought it was going to fall. Did you guys think it was going to fall? I thought it was going to fall. I tried, but there's these fears I can't quell. When I was transitioning, that's an interesting way of thinking about it. Transitioning from being a theist to being an atheist, I went through this Taoist stage, right? So I read through the Tao Te Ching, The Way of Power. I have Zhuangzi. He was a philosopher, Taoist philosopher. I have one of some of his stuff here too. But in the Tao Te Ching by the mythical character Jadzia, there's this phrase I like to think about. Something I talk, I'll bring up this quote every once in a while, is that the Tao is like cooking a small fish. Because when you cook a small fish, you can't use too little heat, because if you do, you don't cook the fish. If you use too much heat, you ruin the fish. Burp and say, excuse me, fart, and everyone laughs. Yeah. Cough and everyone runs for the exit. You're right about that. Coughing now. You cough in public? Jeez. Look at that. Huh? Yeah, the times that I've done yoga in a group session, there's been gas. In fact, it got to the point that I had to figure out what not to eat hours before going to yoga. So I didn't douse other people around me. I mean, and the good thing about Jenga in comparison to yoga too, I'm going to go with this comparison, is that you're not going to get shamed, right? Like yoga shame, I don't know, you get someone who's like 20 or 30 years younger than you are, athletic AF, athletic as a, like incredibly athletic all their life. And they're like telling people who may not be the most athletic people in the world how to contort their bodies into weird positions. And yeah, that can make a very awkward experience. I have some fears I can't quell. Here we go. Beautiful. I know you like a charmer. Da, 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 da. Fart at yoga class and others fall down. Yeah, exactly. Tons of mice. Well said. Well said. Of course, going to one of these yoga camps, you'd have to, I had to tolerate a lot of non-skeptical stuff going on there. Like, for an example, one of their cash scam services they provide for people is getting your aura photographed. Yes, at yoga camp, you can get your aura photographed. That strikes me as pretty scammy. Did I ever get my aura photographed, you may ask? No. No, I didn't. And I was quite happy with that. How many levels do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Well, I'm on the 30th level. I'm on the 30th level right here. Now this is, if I did this complete, this would be 30 complete levels. Oh, I got one. I think I'm going to get 30 levels completed. Da 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 da. I tell you, if you asked me a year ago if I'd be doing Jenga online at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I would have said you're crazy. Of course, that was in the times before the apocalypse, before coronavirus. You know what I've never mentioned, actually, and this just tells you how bad I am at like talking or communicating. So I actually run a atheist burrito, comedy atheist burrito. It's a Facebook group. I don't know if you're part of Atheist Comedy Burrito. It's basically exactly what you might think it is. It's just a comedy group, kind of like a funny little group, a Facebook group where people have fun, post memes, stuff like that. In case you're looking for a Facebook group to join, Comedy Atheist Burrito. If it means anything, and I think it does, I do vet every single person who joins the group So we don't have any trolls, basically very few trolls. And when trolls do occur, I just get rid of them. Basically, I just block them. That's not going to work. A lot of this just isn't going to work, everyone, at this point. All right, let me see what I can do. Da, 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 da. Now this block is already kind of like nudged out, but it's not nudging out anymore. Nope. I try, but there's these fears I can't quell. Here we go. I found a block that's loose. Loose enough, maybe. This is the best of a bad choice right here. Perfect. Not perfect. We don't do perfect here. We don't do perfect. We do good enough. Much like evolution, right? Nothing perfect, but good enough. You know what actually makes it difficult when you go to yoga camp? I've been to yoga camp about doing yoga without passing gas, is that the food that they offer you at yoga camp is very friendly in terms of very gaseous. Here we go. Get to see the wonders of my book collection here, my personal library, as well as the Jenga Tower. Da, 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 da. Well, there you go. One tower down. I think I was up to 30 complete levels. And I was working on my 31st. When it all fell down. Da, 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 All right. That was an epic implosion. Collapse? That was an epic collapse. Can't really call it an implosion. We'll call it a collapse. Now to find the sleeve. I know I had the sleeve here. Here it is. So what's everyone doing? I can't believe it's already Thursday. The weekend's coming up. I got Valentine's Day on Sunday. Don't know what I'm doing on Saturday. I'm getting a snowstorm on Saturday night. It really doesn't interfere with anything on Saturday during the day. Oh, I'm playing Battleship with my girlfriend. That's right. I'm going to be live streaming a Battleship. which should be amusing, right? Will there be drinking involved? There might be a little bit. There might be some casual drinking while playing Battleship. There's nothing wrong with that. Dun, 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 dun. So what I am going to do, I'm going to use my left hand this time because I kind of cheated. I usually use my left hand. I use my right hand. Now I'm going to use my non-dominant hand. That doesn't make my right hand submissive. It just, it doesn't make my left hand submissive, right? It just means the right hand is dominant. See, there's some kind of wordplay going on there. All right. Wonderful. Da 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 da. Da, 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 da. All right, let's see if we get ourselves situated here. Jenga-ing. That should be the theme song, right? For Jenga, for our Jenga in the afternoon. Jenga-ing. There are these fears, I heard Fauci was saying that come April, it's going to be a free-for-all for vaccines. There'll be enough vaccines, and people will just get their vaccine. And I don't know. I didn't read the full article. I saw that on a headline on Twitter. What day is today? Is today the 11th? Because if it is, if today is the 11th, then local pharmacies should be getting their allotment of COVID-19 vaccines. Some pharmacies, some local pharmacies. I went online and found out that the pharmacy that we use actually is going to have the COVID-19 vaccine. And I'm thinking about heading over there tomorrow after I do the morning show to, ask some questions. Maybe get a Valentine's card for my girlfriend, right? Because that has to happen. Yeah. Gotten old. The magic of the left-handed Jenga player. What do you think, Blocky? Do you think that went well? I think that went really well, Andy. That's good. Blocky, everyone. It's one of my biggest supporters. I can't do that because that's not the appropriate level to Jenga in. How about this level? Oh, this looks good. I know. I'm feeling pretty confident with my left hand right now, my non-dominant hand. I'm feeling pretty confident. Is that confidence warranted? Well, that's a very good question, and I'm glad that you asked that. Probably not. Probably not. Look at this. should do my blood pressure. I should take my blood pressure for playing Jenga and after playing Jenga and see if there's a calming effect. I don't know if there would be, to tell you the truth. But it'd be interesting to find out. And of course, it'd only be one, we'd have to do a variety of tests over time. My experimental psychology teacher always told me as an undergraduate, beware the N of 1. In other words, if the study has less than 20 subjects in it, you should be really cautious about it. Now, hello, Ian Davenport. How you doing? Kendra, this is actually Tobin. I haven't had internet today until now. Wow. I'm sorry to hear that, Tobin. Your internet got knocked out? Weather related? Well, let me tell you something. That was somewhat amusing today on the morning show, but of course, I am somewhat biased about my own performance. Is Kendra your significant other? Da, da, da. Da, 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 da. Sometimes I have a second screen going to show me the YouTube channel, so I get the comments faster than I do here on StreamYard. But my iPad was not charged properly for that, so I got one screen today working. So that means you all may comment, and I will not see the comments until a bit of time. They'll be dragging. There'll be a drag time. There'll be a time lapse between the time that you post. You understand. You guys understand. Hey, Derek Cruz. Thank you. I appreciate that. I still feel awkward. If anyone has watched me over time, especially when I was doing the Naked Dinah podcast, my buddy Jack, he'd have little intervention sessions with me. He'd have intervention sessions with me about, Andy, how you should be taking a compliment, how you should be accepting a compliment when you get one. And I'm 52 years old and I still have trouble taking a compliment. If you ever hear me just say thank you, that's years of practice. That's years of practice. So thanks, Derek, once again. I appreciate it. There you go, huh? Yeah, this is Kendra too. Hey, thanks. Oh, you think? Oh, you're welcome. That's great. I mean, yes, I'm still not very good at receiving compliments. So that's the close. This is the closest thing I get to not being socially awkward in these moments. I'm doing a show tonight with Pat Green. He is the photographer, also a blogger. He was on the show last Sunday night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. He talked about his suicide attempt, not telling tales out of school, since he is happy to talk about, not happy, but maybe comfortable talking about his issues. And so he's going to be on the Best Advice Ever. He's on at 8 o'clock tonight. I don't know what the advice he's going to be talking about. I am intrigued. Whether it's mental health or about doing his art. He's a great photographer. He's coming out with a book pretty soon. All right. So far, so good, right? I've noticed that there are just some levels that never want to give up their blocks, right? Like it is just, there's no, like this block, this level here, it just doesn't want to give up any of its blocks. All right, what else am I going to do here? Let's. There's this channel I subscribe to on YouTube. It's called Stand Up Maths. As you would expect, it's a mathematician who happens to be a stand-up comedian too, but he focuses most of the channel on mathy stuff. So he's mathy and funny as against being funny and mathy, if that makes sense. Let's see if he's done a video about the maths of Jenga, about the proper mathematical strategy, about how to build not the perfect, but a nigh perfect Jenga tower. How about that, huh? How about that? Yes, we are a married couple. The weather part of the service is not working. I'm sorry to hear that. It was nice. It's good to be talking to you, Kendra. And Tobin. My old place that I was living in, which was in Brockton, Massachusetts, the armpit of Massachusetts, I lived right in the city center. So I never lost power, just being that close to the hub of everything. Sure. I was right by the bus station too. I was 6 stories up from the bus station. So I thought that the exhaust, I was trying to fool myself into thinking that maybe living that close to the buses wouldn't be too detrimental. But that was one of the benefits of being close to the city center, is that I never lost power. I could have gotten, it was a tough place in Brockton. If I have a chance, and I think I might have mentioned this story before, about how I insulted one of my, at her old job, I insulted one of her racist co-workers one time. I called him an effing racist, unintentionally, to their face. That was embarrassing. Well, that wasn't embarrassing, actually. I thought I was entertained. So while I'm not an angry drunk, I am a fun drunk, and sometimes I say inappropriate things. Truthful things, but inappropriate things. I just want to tell you too is that if you saw part of the morning show today, is that one of my local places I like to drink, the People's Republic in Cambridge, which is right. It's pretty much midway between Harvard and MIT, Massachusetts Institution of Technology. So it's pretty much in the mid area, right between Harvard and MIT. That just closed down like forever and ever and ever. I'm pretty not happy about that. My 2 favorite independent coffee houses, though, look like they're going to be surviving the apocalypse. Fingers crossed. But there's quite a few bars that I frequented that are no longer going to be operational thanks to COVID-19. I just found out that if you've ever been to Harvard Square, you've probably been to the Border Cafe Mexican restaurant. and that place is closed forever. That was somewhat of a landmark, a go-to place. Hey, look at this, found a block. I found a block, and the block was good. Got an old spiritual timey song, an old hymn about finding the block. I know I've mentioned this before, but one of the nice things about raising my kids in a non-religious home is that they will never be burdened with having hymns running through their head occasionally, spontaneously. Like for me, I still have weird hymns that just pop in my head. The other day I had Christ the Lord has risen today, hallelujah. And my God, it just kept running through my head until I found another song to push it out. We like hanging out. Well, I like hanging out here, to tell you the truth. I do enjoy the time together on the morning show here, and anytime. I think it's one of the things that is really helping me during the pandemic. And now I'm thinking, what am I going to do when the pandemic's over? Because the pandemic, I'm going to be vaccinated at some point, and in April, if nothing else, or in May, maybe earlier. And then I have to decide what my work life is going to look like, what kind of schedule I'm going to run. Before the pandemic, as many of you may know, I was doing a sleep overnight shifts at a residential home. So I would go into work at 11 o'clock at night. I would probably get about 5 or 6 hours of sleep. And then I'd help the person I was working with, the person who had the person who had certain disabilities, and I'd help them get ready for the day, hang out, make them breakfast, dress, the whole 9 yards. And so I did that for years, to tell you the truth. And so now that it looks like I'm going to be vaccinated at some point within the next, who knows, soon, I have to figure out what kind of work I'm going to be doing. I might be going back to, I'd probably be doing the same kind of work, to tell you the truth. But in terms of my schedule, I don't know. See, I almost messed that up. I did mess it up. I just did this thing that I shouldn't have done. Hey, that top lock, it's almost out. So I'm still trying to find a guest for the Sunday night show. So I got to find someone for the Sunday night show, and I'm not sure who yet. I might bring out one of my comedian buddies and just talk with them. Maybe Jack Maturko will come on. We'll have one of his people from the Satanic Temple. Jack's a member of the Satanic Temple, and he knows people. So sometimes we have Satanists on the Sunday night show. None of the choices look good. But that choice looks good right there. Let me see what I can do. I feel like I'm General Lee on the third day of Gettysburg. It's like I want to do this one thing, and I'm going to do this one thing. I'm going to do it right now, which is pull out this block. Lee, of course, wanted to beat the Union Army on the third day of Gettysburg. He thought that doing Pickett's charge would be the way to win the battle. Of course, that was an epic fail. That did not work out. I don't know if you can see this block. This is a mistake. This right here. I feel like I'm talking about my dating history. You see this? If this was going to be like layers of, I didn't go out with this many people, obviously, but I could see, like, if I was going to explain my dating life, I could see this date, this person I dated for for like 6 months to a year. This was a mistake right here. The waterfall in the background. Is that the sound of the fan from my computer? Well, it is nice white noise. I think this will work. I think this will work. I think this will work. See, if I say it over and over again, I feel like I'm doing some kind of magic spell. And it worked. Well, at least this part of the maneuver worked. Whether or not the rest of this will work, I don't know. And it worked. Beautiful. No, the thing is that I don't even know if my regular microphone is working. Let me check the audio. Yeah, that's the wrong. Yeah, I don't know why my let's check this. Is this audio any better? I don't know if that audio is any better. But you guys will tell me if the audio is any better. For some reason, my microphone is not working. My very nice microphone too. I'll have to troubleshoot that later. I was having this conversation with my girlfriend, and she was going, Andy, you seem to be more antisocial these days. More antisocial? How is there a chance for me to be social outside of the house? There's no chance. And I realized that I'll always have an incentive to leave the house, when coronavirus is over, because of just looking for material, for comedy, for writing. Leaving the big incentive for me, besides seeing my 3 or 4 really close friends, is just to people watch and to hear people's stories, to watch people do things. So yeah, maybe I am a little antisocial. However, I think it works for me. What was my joke? I said my joke was, I'm not antisocial, I'm just very pro me. People seem to like that joke when I told it on stage. Very good. I wonder why my microphone isn't working. That's a very good question. Oh, I can see why my microphone's not working, because it's all messed up. Well, I guess I should be troubleshooting my microphone at a later date, shouldn't I? We'll figure that out later, too. No, I can't do that. Here's another thought. I wonder if they do Jenga in prison. I mean, maybe they don't, because there's a lot of chances of making very small shivs, I imagine, with these Jenga blocks. However, if you could somehow secure the Jenga blocks, I would think that doing Jenga in prison would have therapeutic effects, positive therapeutic effects, in terms of, people learning how to control their impulses, planning, thinking, all those executive orders I was talking about in today's. It hasn't fallen yet. So how many levels do I have so far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. I lost count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. All right. I think this piece, look at this. Magic. Is this a record? I think this could be a record for me. Way past 30. Way past 30 levels. Okay, 31, 32, whatever. Oh, no. Not too bad, huh? Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Oh, oh. And now I'm taking this one out, putting it on top. I have to tell you, I think I'm at a record. I'm at a all-time left hand, non-dominant hand Jenga record right here. Oh no. You know who does Jenga? I bet who would enjoy a good game of Jenga is Bill Murray. He got this whole Zen thing going on over the last few years about just being Bill Murray. So that level that I thought I would never be able to get a block out of, got a block out of it. For some reason, this tower, this incredibly high, fragile, chaotic tower makes me think of Bitcoin for some reason. I don't know why. You can't say that, Andy. You're gonna alienate all the pro crypto people when you say words like that. You're gonna lose that demographic, the cryptocurrency people. I try. Tears I can't quell. Is she looking for a pot of gold? All right. Now you can see the true epic nature of this tower, but look at it. It says epic from the very bottom and epic to the we top. Yeah, I said it. I use that word, we. Well, we. I mean, that means small. It's not we, but it's epic. How's that? All right. You guys come up with the superlatives. It is pretty impressive. Well, how about that? How about that? It was a good run. That's all you could say about anything, really. Is it's a good run. This is what I look like with my glasses on, but you guys know that. So this is me without my glasses. You also know that too. So thanks for showing up. Thanks for chatting with me. Thanks for the $2 Derek Cruz. It's much appreciated if you're still here in the chat. And my Jenga blocks here. My work the last hour and 13 minutes. If my blocks, if they could talk, would say thank you too for supporting the whole show. Enjoy. Thanks. Yep. Yeah. Thanks. And I'm gonna figure out what's going on with my microphone, so I get the good microphone back as against using my crappy microphone. 8:30, 8 o'clock tonight. I'm doing Best Advice Ever with Pat Green. Hope you're there. If not, I'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Take care, everyone. Thanks again. Much appreciated. Bye.